She texted, "I'm having lunch with my ex today. He needs closure for the 7th time this month." I replied, "Hope he finds it." Then I had lunch with her best friend, who'd been warning me about their affair for weeks. When we walked into the same restaurant, holding hands, and saw them in a booth. Original post. I, 29 male, have been with my girlfriend for a little over 2 years. We don't live together. She has a studio apartment. I rent a 1-bedroom about 15 minutes away. We talked about moving in together around our 2-year mark, and that date had come and gone without it happening. I told myself it was logistics. Leases, timing, money. Looking back, I think I already knew the reason was something else. Her ex. They dated for 3 years before me. The breakup was supposedly mutual. We just grew apart. She told me this on our 2nd date, like she was reading from a script. He moved away for about a year after the split, then moved back 8 months into our relationship. That's when the lunches started. The first one I didn't think anything of. She told me her ex had reached out, said he was going through a tough time with the move back, and wanted to grab coffee. She asked if I was okay with it. I said sure. I'm not the jealous type. I trusted her. Past tense, trusted. The coffees became lunches. The lunches became, he just needs someone to talk to. The someone to talk to became a standing Wednesday thing. That it wasn't just Wednesdays. It was whenever he texted, which was a lot. Every time I brought it up, she had the same answer. He needs closure. He's still processing the breakup. I'm the only one who understands what he's going through. 3 years. They broke up 3 years ago. A man who needs 3 years of weekly lunches to process a breakup doesn't need closure. He needs a therapist, where he's already getting exactly what he needs, just not at the lunch table. Now here's where her best friend comes in. Her best friend and I have always gotten along. She's one of those people who's aggressively honest, the kind of person who'll tell you there's spinach in your teeth before you even sit down. She and my girlfriend have been close since high school, but their friendship has this undercurrent of tension that I never fully understood until recently. About 5 weeks ago, her best friend texted me out of the blue. Her best friend, "Hey, can we talk? Not about anything weird. I just need to tell you something, and I don't want to do it over text." We met at a coffee shop near my office the next morning. She looked uncomfortable, kept stirring her latte without drinking it. Her best friend, "I'm going to tell you something, and you're going to be angry. Not at me, hopefully, but you're going to be angry." Me? Okay. Her best friend. The lunches with her ex aren't just lunches. I've seen texts. She leaves her phone open around me because she doesn't think I'd look. But she left it on the bathroom counter of my apartment 2 weeks ago, and a message popped up. It was from him. I won't repeat the exact words, but it wasn't something you'd text someone you're just getting closure with. Me, how bad? Her best friend. Bad enough that I screenshot it before I could talk myself out of it. She showed me. It was a text from her ex that referenced a specific physical detail about my girlfriend that you'd only know if, yeah, you get it. And my girlfriend's response was a string of emojis and "can't wait for Wednesday." I stared at that screenshot for a while. The coffee shop was playing some acoustic cover of a pop song, and I remember thinking how weird it was that the world just keeps going while you're sitting there holding proof that your life is different than you thought. Me, how long? Her best friend, I don't know exactly, but I've suspected for at least 2 months. The texts I saw were from 2 weeks ago, but the tone wasn't new. It was comfortable. Routine. Me, why are you telling me? Her best friend, because she's my best friend and I love her, but what she's doing to you is garbage. And because every time I tell her to stop, she tells me I'm being dramatic and that you'd understand if you knew the full context. There is no context that makes this okay. I thanked her. I meant it. She said she felt sick about the whole thing and asked me not to tell my girlfriend she'd been the source. I told her I'd keep her out of it. I drove to work, sat in the parking lot for about 20 minutes. Didn't cry, didn't punch anything. Just sat there recalculating. You know that feeling when you realize you've been doing math wrong for months and the real number is much worse than what you had? I didn't confront my girlfriend. Not yet. I needed more. Over the next 2 weeks, I paid attention differently. Not obsessively. I wasn't checking her phone or following her car. I just listened. And when you listen to a liar while knowing they're lying, you hear everything differently. He's just having a rough week. That was week 1. His therapist canceled, so he needed to vent. Week 2. I know it's a lot, but he's really struggling. Week 3. It's just lunch, babe. You're overthinking this. Week 4. 7 lunches in 1 month. 7. I know because I started a note on my phone. Dates, times, what she told me, what her best friend told me she actually saw or heard. Not because I was building a legal case. Because I needed to see it in writing to stop making excuses for her. During that same 2 weeks, her best friend and I kept talking. Not secretly, not romantically, just 2 people processing the same situation from different angles. She'd text me when my girlfriend said something contradictory. I tell her what story I was being fed. We compared notes like detectives on the most depressing case in history. And here's the thing. Her best friend is a genuinely good person. I'd always known that casually, the way you know things about your partner's friends. But in those 2 weeks, I learned it for real. She was risking her longest friendship to do the right thing. She cried once during a phone call, said she felt like she was betraying her best friend, and I told her she wasn't. Her best friend had betrayed both of us. By week 3, I had a plan. Not a revenge fantasy, just a decision. The 7th lunch text came on a Thursday morning. I was brushing my teeth. Having lunch with my ex today. He really needs closure on some stuff. I'll be at that Italian place on the boulevard. Don't wait up for dinner, might run late. I rinsed, spat, and typed back. Hope he finds it. Then I called her best friend. Me, she's going to the Italian place on the boulevard today. Noon, probably. Her best friend. I know. She told me yesterday. Me, want to have lunch? Same restaurant. Same time. Silence for about 5 seconds. Her best friend. Are you serious? Me, completely. We walk in together. We sit where they can see us. No confrontation, no drama. Just a nice lunch. Her best friend. She's going to lose her mind. Me, she's going to lose a lot more than that. Her best friend. I'll wear something nice. At 12:15 p.m., I picked her best friend up from her apartment. She was wearing a sundress and looked nervous but resolute. I was in a button-down I normally wear to client meetings. I opened the car door for her. She laughed and said, "You're really committing to this, huh?" I said, "I'm committing to a nice Italian lunch. Everything else is coincidence." We drove to the restaurant. Parked. I walked around, opened her door again. She took my arm, her idea, not mine, and we walked in. The hostess asked if we had a reservation. I said no, but pointed to a 2-top near the window. Good sight line. Well lit. Impossible to miss from any booth in the main room. We sat down. Ordered drinks. I got an Arnold Palmer. She got a sparkling water. We opened our menus like 2 people who weren't about to detonate a relationship from across a dining room. I looked up casually, scanned the room, and there they were. Back left booth. My girlfriend and her ex sitting on the same side. His arm was draped across the back of the seat behind her. She was leaning into him, laughing at something on his phone. 2 glasses of wine on the table. Bread basket between them. Comfortable. Intimate. Routine. Her best friend saw them the same moment I did. She reached across the table and squeezed my hand. Not for show, because she could see my jaw tighten and she knew what that moment felt like. Me. There they are. Her best friend. Same side of the booth. Classy. Me. Should we order appetizers? Her best friend. Absolutely. Get the calamari. We ordered. We talked. We laughed about things that had nothing to do with the situation. I told her about a disastrous client presentation I'd done last month where the projector died mid-slide. She told me about her sister's dog who'd eaten an entire rotisserie chicken off the counter, foil tray and all. It was genuinely a nice lunch. About 20 minutes in, it happened. My girlfriend looked up. I don't know why. Maybe to flag the waiter, maybe just ambient scanning. But her eyes swept the room and landed directly on me. Then moved her best friend. Then to our hands, which were resting near each other on the table in a way that could look like anything. Her face went through a 5-act play in about 3 seconds. Confusion, realization, anger, panic, and then this wild, desperate attempt at composure. She said something to her ex. He looked over, saw me. His face went totally blank. He moved his arm off the back of the booth like it had caught fire. My girlfriend stood up, started walking toward us. Her ex stayed seated, suddenly very interested in his bread plate. She reached our table, standing there in the middle of a lunch rush, tried to figure out which emotion to lead with. Her, what are you doing here? Me, having lunch. The calamari's great, by the way. Her, with her. Me, with a friend. We're allowed to have friends, right? That's been the rule. Her best friend. Hey girl. Cute outfit. My girlfriend looked at her best friend like she'd been slapped. Her, did you set this up? Me, set what up? You told me where you'd be. I like Italian food. This isn't a conspiracy, it's a coincidence with good timing. Her, you're trying to humiliate me. Me, no. You're humiliated because your boyfriend and your best friend are sitting 15 feet from you, and the guy whose arm was around you 30 seconds ago. That's self-inflicted. Her face went red. She looked back at her ex, who was now pretending to read the menu like it was a novel. Her, this isn't what it looks like. Me, it looks like lunch. Same as mine, right? She didn't have a response. She stood there for another few seconds, then turned around and walked back to the booth. I watched her grab her purse, say something sharp to her ex, and head for the door. Her ex threw some cash on the table and followed her out without looking at me. Her best friend exhaled. Her best friend. That was the most terrifying and satisfying lunch I've ever had. Me, we haven't even gotten our entrees yet. We stayed. We ate. Chicken parmesan for me, mushroom risotto for her. We split a tiramisu. I paid the check, $78 with tip. Worth every dollar. Update 1, 4 days later. The restaurant was Thursday. Thursday night, she called me 11 times. I didn't answer. She texted. Her, we need to talk right now. Her, you had no right to show up there like that. Her, are you sleeping with her? Is that what this is? Her, answering me. I replied once at 10 p.m. I'm available to talk tomorrow at 5. In person. Your apartment. I'll be there. Friday at 5. I showed up. She opened the door, already mid-sentence. Her, how dare you embarrass me like that? Me, sit down. Something in my tone made her actually sit. I stayed standing. Hand to my pockets. Calm. I'd rehearsed this in my head about 30 times. Me, you've had lunch with your ex 7 times this month. You told me each one was about closure. On Thursday, I saw you in a booth with his arm around you, sitting on the same side, drinking wine at noon. That's not closure. That's a date. So here's what's happening. We're done. Her, it was not a date. He's affectionate. That's just how he is. Me, save it. I've known about the text for weeks. Her face changed. Her, what texts? Me, the ones where he references things about you that a closure-seeking ex wouldn't know unless the closure was happening horizontally. Her, who told you that? Me, doesn't matter. What matters is that you lied to me every Wednesday and apparently several other days for months. So we're done. Her, you can't just decide that. Me, I just did. Her, is it because of her? Your little lunch date? Are you with her now? Me, I had lunch with a friend. You had lunch with a man whose arm was around you. One of us should be answering that question, and it's not me. She started crying. Real tears, but also strategic tears, the kind that come out when anger isn't working and you need to switch tools. Her, I made a mistake. People make mistakes. You can't throw away 2 years. Me, you threw it away. 7 times this month. I'm just acknowledging the receipt. I left. She followed me to the door, still talking. I got in my car and drove away. My hands are shaking on the steering wheel, and I'll be honest, I pulled into a parking lot about 2 miles away and sat there for 10 minutes just breathing. 2 years. Gone. Not because I wanted it to be, but because she made it so. Saturday morning, her best friend called me. Her best friend, she knows it was me. Me how? Her best friend. Process of elimination. I'm the only person who had access to her phone and access to you. She called me at midnight screaming. Me, I'm sorry. Her best friend, don't be. I knew this was coming. She called me a traitor, said I was jealous of her relationship, and had always wanted you. Which is funny because 3 months ago she told me she wasn't sure she even loved you anymore. That last part hurt. I knew it was probably true, but hearing it confirmed was different. Me, are you okay? Her best friend, yeah, lost a best friend. Gained a clear conscience. I'll take the trade. Update 2, 12 days later. So here's where it gets messy. Because it turns out, entitled people don't just lose. They campaign. By Monday of the following week, My ex had done a full court press on our mutual friend group. Not with the truth, obviously. With her version. According to multiple people who reached out to me, her story went like this. I had been emotionally distant for months. She'd been trying to reconnect with me, but I was checked out. Her ex was just a friend providing emotional support I refused to give. And then, here's the masterpiece. I set up an ambush at a restaurant with her best friend to publicly humiliate her because I was already having an affair with her best friend. I became the cheater in her story. That's the magic trick. The person sitting in a booth with her ex's arm around her managed to reframe the narrative so that the guy eating calamari with a friend was the villain. My buddy from work, one of the few mutual friends I actually trusted, called me Monday evening. My buddy, hey, I just had a really weird conversation with your ex. She called me saying you and her best friend have been hooking up behind her back for months. Me, that's not true. My buddy, I know, because I've seen you moping about this girl for 2 months and nobody who's cheating mopes like that. But she's telling everyone. Me, what did you say to her? My buddy, I said I didn't want to be in the middle of it and hung up. Me, good man. My buddy, but you should know she's convincing. She sounded genuinely hurt. People who don't know the details are buying it. That's the part that gets you. She was genuinely hurt. Not because she lost me. She'd already checked out. She was hurt because she got caught. And hurt people who refuse to accept accountability become extremely effective storytellers. I made a decision that night. I wasn't going to run a counter-campaign. I wasn't going to text everyone our side of things. I wasn't going to screenshot anything or make posts or send group messages. Because here's what I've learned. When two people are yelling different stories, the audience just picks whoever they like more. The truth doesn't win arguments. Time does. Instead, I did one thing. I called the 6 people whose opinions I actually cared about. My brother, my 2 closest friends from college, my buddy from work, my cousin, her best friend, obviously. I told each of them the same short version. She'd been seeing her ex behind my back for months. I found out, I ended it, and she's now telling people I'm the one who cheated. I didn't ask them to take sides. I just gave them the facts and moved on. Every single one of them said some version of the same thing. Yeah, that tracks. Because here's the thing about liars. They don't usually fool the people closest to you. They fool the periphery, the acquaintances, the co-workers, the people who only know you from group hangs and birthday parties. Those people are easy to sway because they don't have enough data to check the story against. But the people who actually know you, they see through it immediately. Wednesday, of course it was a Wednesday. Her ex called me. I almost didn't pick up, but curiosity won. Her ex, hey man, I know this is weird. Me, extremely. Her ex, I just wanted to say, there's no hard feelings from my end. I didn't know she was lying to you about the lunches. Me, you didn't know her boyfriend thought you were getting closure. Her ex, she told me you guys had an open thing going on, that you were cool with everything. Me, an open thing. Her ex, yeah, she said you both saw other people. Me, we did not see other people. I didn't see anyone. She saw you. Long pause. Her ex, well, that's messed up. Me, sure is. Her ex, for what it's worth, she told me the same thing. That it was casual, that you both knew. Me, she's efficient, I'll give her that. Lied to both of us with the same story. He didn't have much else to say. I didn't either. He wished me well. I said cool, and hung up. I don't blame the guy. Honestly, he was being lied to too, just from the other direction. Thursday, I got a call from her mother. Here we go. Her mom. I'm hearing terrible things about how you treated my daughter. Me. What did she tell you? Her mom. That you've been sneaking around with her best friend for months and then humiliated her in public. Me. Ma'am, your daughter has been having lunches, 7 in 1 month, with her ex-boyfriend. I saw them together in a booth with his arm around her. I've seen texts that confirm it's more than friendship. I ended the relationship. I've never been unfaithful to her. Not once. Her mom, well, she says, me. Her ex-boyfriend called me 2 days ago and confirmed everything. He told me, she told him we had an open relationship. We didn't. She lied to him, and she lied to me, and now she's lying to you. Her mom went quiet for a while. Her mom, I don't know who to believe. Me? Believe whoever you want. But maybe ask her why her ex called to apologize to me if nothing happened. She didn't have an answer. The call ended shortly after. Not hostile, just finished. By that weekend, the noise was dying down. Most of the mutual friends had quietly picked a side or opted out. The ones who mattered to me knew the truth. The ones who didn't were welcome to their version. I wasn't going to chase people who were perfectly happy being misinformed. Her best friend and I had dinner that Saturday. Not a date. Not officially. We went to a ramen place and talked for 3 hours about everything except the situation. Her job, she's a veterinary tech. My job, supply chain analyst, which she described as somehow making spreadsheets sound interesting. We laughed a lot. It felt easy in a way that nothing had felt easy in months. Walking back to the car, she stopped and said, her best friend, I want to be really clear about something. I didn't tell you about the cheating because I wanted to be with you. I told you because it was the right thing to do. Me, I know, her best friend, but I also want to be clear that I'm glad we're here. At this ramen place. On this sidewalk. Right now. Me too. Her best friend. Cool. Buy me dessert. Me. You just ate 2 bowls of ramen. Her best friend. And now I want mochi. Keep up. I bought the mochi. We sat on a bench and ate it and didn't talk about anything important, and it was the most relaxed I've been in weeks. I'm not calling it a relationship yet. It's too soon and too close to the wreckage. We both know that. But there's something there, something that started as mutual decency during a bad situation and grew into something I don't want to name yet, because naming it too early kills it. My ex texted me one final time about 5 days ago. Late at night. The classic. I miss you. I know I messed up. Can we talk? I looked at it for a while. Not because I was tempted, because I was remembering who she was before the lies. The person who laughed at my bad jokes and remembered my coffee order and fell asleep on my shoulder during movies. That person existed too, but she existed alongside the person who sat in a booth with another man's arm around her and then texted me that he needed closure. I typed, I hope you find what you're looking for, but it's not going to be with me. Take care. Then I blocked the number, not out of anger, out of self-preservation, because I know myself, and if she kept texting, eventually she'd catch me on a weeknight, and I'd say something I couldn't take back. Better to close the door than to test how many times I can walk past it. Her best friend sent me a meme yesterday, just a picture of calamari with the caption, Our Origin Story. I laughed for a solid minute. The Italian restaurant still has the same lunch menu. Same booth in the back left. Same calamari. I haven't been back. Maybe I will someday. Maybe I'll bring someone. Maybe we'll sit at that same window table and order Arnold Palmer's and not think about the people who used to sit across the room. But that's later. Right now I've got leftover ramen in my fridge and a matcha-related text to respond to. And that's enough.